Hey guys, it's getting cold outside, so I thought I'd do a little setup with the Aurora9 on a fancy foam Phoenix VPP style variable pitch prop. So let's check it out. The VPP setup we're using today is Mammo Models. It's the most popular one used by the pilots at the ETOC. The servos that we're going to be using on the rest of the airplane is pretty simple. The elevator and rudder don't need to be anything fancy, just some 55s or some 45s. I have some old 50s on here. That shows that it really is not very picky on what you use on the tail surfaces. On the aileron, I have a digital 45. That gives you extremely fast response and a lot of throw. As you can see when I move the surfaces, how much throw and how quickly it reacts. The pitch servo, I'm also using the 50-45. You want something that's not going to give whatsoever. So when you get a lot of pushback on this, because you will when you're forcing that blade back and forth, you do not want this servo to give, and this digital 45 is not going to go anywhere. The blades that I use for the Mammo models is the 9-inch blades with a 2-cell 45C Thunder Power pack. That gives you the best combination for flight. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and take you to where we set up our channels, and this is what yours needs to look like. Your pitch needs to be channel 5. I mean, it can be any pitch that you or any channel you want, but that's the channel that I choose because I use a smaller receiver. Alright, so if we click on the pitch curve, it says all servos hold. You can hit yes or no. That's just for safety. Basically, you'll see a line here. You can see at regular setting with the switch all the way up, my pitch, if you see on this little box here where it will show your curve, stays at a perfect percentage. Now what you want to do is, you can see I have it at 83% because 100% bogged down my motor. It was too much pitch. So you want to find a good pitch and you keep it there throughout the entire movement for regular flight mode. Alright, now I'm going to switch to idle up position 1. You can see from position 1 and 2 is the only increase. That's because I want the pitch to only change at the bottom couple clicks and then stay the same throughout the rest of the flight. And now when you move it back down, you can see at which point it starts to go into that negative pitch. It's the bottom about 3 clicks is where it goes into that negative pitch. Now I'm going to take you to the throttle curve. All servos hold, yes, no. This is my throttle curve in regular mode. You can see it's pretty much just your steady climb like you usually have. I might have changed it a little bit just for flight characteristics. Now in the first position, you can see it does the V. Just on helicopters, what you'll usually see is the V go down to the middle, stop, and then go back up on the other side. But we only want it at the bottom couple clicks, so our V goes down very fast and then it gradually climbs to have your regular flight mode the rest of the time. So this is what it should look like. Now this is my throttle, or my lower throttle setting for my less aggressive maneuvers. When I click it down, you can see how it all lifts up a little bit higher. That gives me an increase of throttle and negative pitch so that I can do those more aggressive maneuvers. Alright, for the less aggressive maneuvers, you can see that it goes down to the bottom and then up gradually, and this gives you your positive pitch through the rest of your flight moment, and your negatives only the bottom couple clicks there. And if I click it down to the last position, that will be my more aggressive throttle. You can see the whole shape moves up, and that gives me my more aggressive throttle through the bottom of the pitch, so that I can have be able to do those backing up maneuvers and more aggressive VPP maneuvers. Okay, like I showed you before, I put it on this 3-position switch here, and with the position all the way up, it is not doing anything, and I have the same exact throttle movement as I would to just fly around. The second position down, you can see when the throttle's all the way down, it moved. The second position is not a very aggressive throttle setting. That way I can do some of the reverse stuff without it throwing so much. And then the final position all the way down is the very aggressive throttle, the 100% throttle at negative, and that's what gives you the ability to back up and spin to the ceiling. Alright, now with the switch at either middle or down, the pitch is the exact same. The only thing I change, if you remember, is the throttle setting. So So as you can see, when I move it just a couple clicks up, it goes to positive, and then through the full range of motion of the throttle above that, it stays at that exact positive pitch. Alright, this is the throttle just on normal flight mode without the idle up on. Just pulling straight towards the ground. Now I'm going to give it a couple clicks and I'm going to throw it into the idle up mode in the first position with the lower power. Alright, that has a little bit less power than it does in the full position. So let's try the full position. And you can hear the power difference, and that's what gives you that power to just back up to the ceiling. Safety is very important with this VPP, and you need to use the throttle lock feature to keep yourself safe. I always turn the throttle lock on anytime I use a VPP setup. That's the first thing I do before I ever plug it in. Make sure my positions are correct, and then go ahead and flip the switch when it is needed. Hope you guys have as much fun with the VPP setups as I do. If you have any questions, post them here. We'll try to get back to you. Have a great holiday season and good flying.